G'day guys, Glenn here from Precision Wealth Management. Just want to do a quick video today around the question of how much TPD cover should I have? A lot of people have TPD insurance within their industry super fund and it's a default amount. It might be somewhere in the vicinity of $300,000 or $400,000 and they just ignore this and they think that that's something. And the question is, how much TPD cover should you have? This is a really difficult question to answer for a few reasons. But one of the reasons is it's it's impossible to know what your needs are going to be if you are eligible for a TPD claim. I've dealt with a number of people who have had TPD claims and they do have varying needs after that claim that require different financial requirements. So how much cover do you need when it comes to a TPD? Well, what I've found is that when you are TPD, when you are eligible for a TPD claim, the more the better. It is something that it really takes a lot of weight off your shoulders in terms of removing any financial worry. But on the flip side, I've also found that even small amounts of TPD are a massive help for people when they do require a claim. You know, amounts of $200,000, $300,000 in the grand scheme of things aren't huge, but that is a massive help to people. But if you're fit and healthy and you're thinking about how much TPD cover should I have, well, what are some of the things you can think about? Well, the first thing might be, we don't know what may have happened to you to meet a claim, but there could be some medical rehabilitation costs that come along with it. And we initially start off with saying, well, that might be $100,000. Then you might say, well, what about my family and financial position? Do I have a mortgage? Do I want to think about paying off the mortgage in this instance? And you may do that. So you might say, oh, I've got a $500,000 mortgage. I want to pay that off. And then the next question might be around, well, is the house I'm living in suitable for me after a TPD claim? And this gets back to what I was saying earlier, saying you just don't know what your needs might be. I've worked with people who have had TPD claims from mental illnesses, which don't necessarily require any physical changes to the house, and other people that are in wheelchairs that can no longer live in two-storey homes, might need to provide renovations to kitchens and bathrooms to make them more suitable. So it's really difficult. But you might think, well, in the very least, I might need to spend $100,000, $200,000 on renovating my home or moving to a more appropriate home. So there might be an additional amount there. And then you might think, well, what about my income needs going forward? Well, ideally, as part of an overall insurance plan, you've got income protection. And that income protection is providing you with an ongoing income stream if you're unable to work. So TPD might not necessarily be needed for an amount of TPD might not necessarily be needed for ongoing income needs, but it might also be. Income protection doesn't fully cover your wage. You need to consider the rest of your financial life, children, spouse, etc. And if you need additional TPD cover to perhaps provide an ongoing income stream. Now, I've worked with clients that the spouse has required to stop work to care for the person who's become totally and permanently disabled. And so in that instance, you might say, well, we need to replace that person's wage to be able to have them at home caring for the person who's TPD. And when you start talking about that, you might need to start thinking about adding $500,000, $1 million to allow for ongoing care of the person who's been TPD. So although this video is about how much TPD cover you have, the point of the cover is, the point of this video is it's very, very hard to make a generic call. If you ever are in the terribly unfortunate situation of making a claim on TPD, the more cover the better. It helps so much financially to take that weight off. Having said that, even small amounts of cover do help immensely with reducing anxiety and stress around finances. So I would implore you to at least look at your superannuation, your policies, and make sure you've got at least a base level of cover to know that you'll be okay if the worst happens. Anyway, I hope this video helps, and if you've got any questions, please get in touch. Thanks.